Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Dave Turkaleski. I'm the president of the Ohio State Alumni Club of the Greater Washington, D.C. area. We're in a very unique, different time. So I want to thank everyone for joining us and logging in and listening to our first ever virtual annual meeting. So thank you again. And we look forward to giving you an update of what we've done over the past year and what will we do moving forward. So I'm going to start out by giving everyone an overview of the state of the club. We're very strong. Things are going very well. We are financially stable, which is something that we're very proud of, given the current impact of COVID-19 and the slowing down of events and fundraising activities. Our membership growth is continuing, and it's going strong too. To kind of let everyone know how COVID-19 has impacted the club, we had 16 canceled events that were planned prior to COVID outbreaking in March. So once that happened, those events were canceled, and other events we had planned or were planning to plan were postponed. We switched to virtual events this year. As you can see from some of what we've had in the past, we've done a couple virtual events. One was our Buckeye Speaker Series. You can go ahead and click the next. Our Buckeyes in Law Summer Speaker Series. We've done our virtual Big Ten Trivia Night, where we partner with other Big Ten clubs from the DMV to give each other, to compete against each other and prove which school is actually the smartest. So this is, again, one of the events we're proud of. It's our first ever virtual meeting. As things continue, we expect to do these things virtually moving forward. We have a couple events we're working on in the future. We've had some talks with the Washington Football Club to hopefully see if we can get some Buckeyes to speak to the club. Can't promise that, but we're working on it. We're also doing a social justice partnership with the Black Alumni Society and the Kerwin Institute. So please join us for those and keep an eye open for those information. Over the past year, we've had some transition on the board, all positive. We have a new vice president. We have a new membership chair. We have a new board member, and we have one board member opening currently. So if anyone's interested in wanting to participate or get involved, please reach out and let us know. We really look forward to working with somebody who wants to be part of this great club and doing great things for the university and our local area. As of right now, if people are curious about what's going to happen for upcoming events and the continuation of events, as of right now, they're on hold. They will be on hold until we figured out a better idea of what's happening with the pandemic, when the bars open up and locations open up where we can host events and do that thing in person. So we'll consider. Just to kind of give everyone an idea of the numbers, I like to give everyone an overview of what we've done over the past year. So we've done a lot of networking. You know, we've had 8 trivia or eight sort of events, you know, one being a trivia night. We meet with the Big Ten presidents around the district, talk and brainstorm ideas. But one of the most events we're proud of from our networking is our Buckeye Summer at Law series. That was a great thing for us. We partnered with the law school and the Alumni Club and did a 10-part series where we engaged a number of students and alum and people in the area that were looking to learn about law and learn about opportunities and things that were going on in the district. We had 4 student engagement events, which is actually kind of light compared to years past, but COVID related. We hosted a couple Buckeye Serve groups. We attended a few college fairs and held last summer's student send-off event. Service here has always been a big part for our club and our community. We partner with the John Glenn College, and we do work at the DC Food Kitchen. OSUDC itself runs a number of Adopt a Highway cleanup events, and we also ran a partnership with the DC Park System this year to do a cleanup of a stream in the area. Not all of our events are related to cleaning up things. We do a number of things around the community. We like to embrace Columbus business when we can, when they have opportunities or operations here in DC. Jenny's Ice Cream, we had an event there which was attended by, I want to say, close to 60 people. We had a team participate in the National African American Male Wellness Walk Initiative this year. We partnered with the university, I should say, the team up north to do a fundraising drive for toys. And of course, just like every other time we play, we beat them and we outraise them for toys for a homeless children's fund. We've helped fundraise for the Ventilator Project, which is a nonprofit that was started by an OSU alum who was looking to help fill the gap and fill the need for generators due to COVID-19. We also had a couple events at the National African American History Cultural Center, led by a private tour of one of our alum who was instrumental in getting that organization and that building built. You know, as being an Ohio State community, we had 3 major events this year. We had our traditional Capitals versus Blue Jackets game. We were able to go to the University of Maryland this year and watch the Buckeyes take on UMD in basketball. One of our biggest events this year was the meet and greet we held with a number of former Buckeyes who played for the DC Defenders. Unfortunately, the Defenders are gone, but it looks like they may be coming back soon, and hopefully those 3 and a couple other Buckeyes will be coming back to the DMV. One of the things that I think is very important, and I want to thank not only the people on the board, the volunteers, but the fans, because these numbers here mean a lot. So just to give everyone an idea, we had 5 different locations that we hosted game days at last year. We held over 58 different game day events with 87 different volunteers. That generated 5,200 fans. We gave away approximately 200 plus prizes and raised $16,500 for the scholarship fund. So thank you for everyone who attended a game watch, and thank you for everyone who donated, volunteered, or just went and ate the food and had a good time. You know, we talk a lot about our fundraising at the game watches and our scholarships. So just to give everyone an idea of what happened this year, we donated $22,000 to the Spearman Scholarship Fund, which is an endowed scholarship fund for students from the DMV who will be going to Ohio State. We awarded $10,500 worth of scholarships this year to 3 different students. Go to the next slide. We also donated $4,400 to the John Glenn College of Public Affairs with their Washington Academic Internship Program, where a student from Ohio State comes to DC for an internship opportunity and to learn about it. But one of the things that's interesting too is next year, one of our community partners in Christie's Shoes, go ahead and click that, is going to be donating an additional $2,500 for a student from the DMV who is going to be going to OSU next year. And I'd like to take this opportunity to pass this along to our treasurer, Melissa Harko.
Thanks, Dave. I just wanted to provide everybody who's watching a quick update on membership, because we do get some questions on that from time to time, especially since we did change the way we do membership nowadays. So as an update, we have 70 paid members year to date. Hopefully that number will increase after this meeting. Our membership year now runs from January 1st to December 31st to follow the calendar year, to follow the tax year. I know it used to be a little confusing in years past when we had the July to June. Now we went from January to December, which coincides with when you're making your donations, your contributions to other societies and clubs and things you're involved with. So we think this will streamline and help people remember when to renew their membership. A change from years past is that now our dues are tax deductible because you're paying directly to the university. In years past, your contribution to the club was a thank you, but not tax deductible. Now anything that you contribute to us is tax deductible, and you'll get an official notice from the university that you can claim it on your taxes. And then also, just as a reminder, we do have 2 options for membership. One is $25 and you're a member of the club of OSUDC. Maybe you're a lifetime member of OSUAA, or you just want to only pay $25. that's fine. You're a member of the club. Also, we do have the option that if you would like to combine your membership with being a sustaining member of OSUAA, that you can donate a minimum of $75. And all of these funds come directly back to the club through the university, which makes them tax deductible and gives you privileges and benefits of the club and OSUAA. So if anybody has any questions on membership, if you're a member, if you're not a member, please reach out to myself. My email is treasurer@osudc.org. And also you can find all of this information on our website at osudc.org. And now I will turn it back over to Dave so we can conduct a very short business session.
Thanks, Melissa. So I want to officially call the meeting to order at 7:43. So we're now able to move on to our official business. I'd like to take a second to introduce you to Jen Rubenstein, who is our treasurer, and who's our secretary, and will be sharing some other information with you.
Hi, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. So just like with every in-person event we had planned for this spring and summer, our annual meeting and spring reception was not held. So in order to ensure that all OSUDC members had the opportunity to vote for the 2020-2021 OSUDC Board of Governors, we held our elections virtually for the first time. All OSUDC members were invited to vote, and the online ballot was available for 14 days from July 6th through July 19th, with the plan in place that when we had the ability to meet live, as we are here tonight on Thursday, August 13th, we would affirm the final vote. The 2020-2021 Board of Governors, as voted on by membership, are, and you can see the slate on your screen, President David Turkaleski, Vice President Melissa Wasser, Secretary Jen Rubenstein, Treasurer Melissa Harto, immediate past President Carter Allman, and at-large board members Kenneth Blacks, Michaela Bodie, Katie Hogan, Stephanie Rosner, Tarek Cephala, Renita Upshur, and Jeff Zellick. Dave?
So I will entertain, as the chair, I'll entertain a motion to approve the affirmation. Please vote yay or nay in your poll.
Hold on, Dave.
Oh. So please go ahead and vote yay or nay in your poll.
Hold on, Dave, not yet. I move that we affirm the election of the 2020-2021 OSUDC Board of Governors as voted on by membership from July 6th through 19th, 2020.
I second.
All in favor, go ahead and click your poll at yay or nay. Well, thank you, everyone. It's official. It's unanimously been approved with no nays. So thank you, everyone. And I will now introduce you to Stephanie Rosner, our scholarship chair.
Hi, everyone. Are you able to see me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. I can't see myself. So, well, so excited to thank you all for joining us. Dave spoke a little bit about all of the amazing scholarships that we were able to raise earlier in the year. So we're just going to elaborate on that. So as some of you know, one of our main ways that we raise our scholarship money is through our game days at our Game Watch bars. We do a raffle during halftime, and a lot of our donations are really small amounts, between $1 and $20. So that just goes to prove how far every dollar really goes, and that we've been able to raise over $10,000. So it's really exciting. And this year, I'm really excited to announce our 3 scholarship winners and have them share a little bit about why they're so excited to come to Ohio State and have you guys be able to meet them. So first, I'd like to introduce Emma Kroll.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm super excited to start Ohio State. I chose Ohio State because I really wanted a big campus and a large student population. And when I toured on campus, I could just see a lot of opportunities that were also there when it comes to academic and social life. And I'm super excited to go next week. I'm a biomedical engineering major, and I hope to also be a music minor. And I just recently reached out to a piano professor about private lessons. So I'm just really excited to attend, and I'd like to thank all of you for helping me.
That's awesome, Emma. Thanks so much for sharing. We're all really excited for you. It sounds like you have so many wonderful things to look forward to. Next up, I'd like to introduce Alice Adarko.
Hello. Okay. Hi. I just wanted to first say thank you so much for this opportunity. Like, it actually means the world to me. So thank you so much. And also, I'm going to be majoring in biology. So I'm super excited. I hope to be a physician assistant in the future. So yeah. Also, Ohio State, I chose that because I feel like I'm really stepping out of my comfort zone with that. I was really thinking about staying in Maryland, but I feel like Ohio State is really giving me the opportunity to like expand and just kind of like meet more people. And I also love the social scene, and I felt like Ohio State would really help with like furthering my education in biology. So yeah, super excited.
Thanks so much, Alice. And next, I'd like to introduce Aiden Benyarku.
Hi guys, my name is David Turkaleski, and at first I would like to say thank you for this opportunity, because this actually helped me to afford Ohio State. So thank you to everybody that made this opportunity possible. This fall I will be studying finance at Ohio State, and I chose Ohio State just because of the diversity and just similar to Alice, to step out of my comfort zone, because I've always been in Maryland. I've been in Maryland my entire life, and just moving out of that scene to somewhere that can teach me a lot. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Aiden. And I just, again, thank you all so excited to help out these students. So we really appreciate it. Next, I'd like to introduce Melissa Wasser, who's our Vice President and Game Day Coordinator.
Hey, Stephanie, thanks so much. Hi, everybody. My name is Melissa Wasser. I am a 2017 Double Buckeye, and I am your new OSUDC Vice President and Game Day Chair. So you've probably seen me at a game day event, or you've received an email from me asking to help us out. And again, thanks to everyone here. Those numbers really show how helpful everyone was, and we deeply appreciate your generosity throughout the seasons. All right, so with that, let's get into what's been going on with game days. We were a little scrambling this week trying to figure out what the Big Ten was going to do, but this is updated to reflect the latest news that as of Tuesday, the Big Ten voted to postpone all fall sports, including college football, to the spring of 2021. While we are sad and disappointed we won't have football this year, we completely understand the university and the conference's decision to postpone these sports, and think it's the right one. And this also means that we will not be having an in-person Maryland tailgate this year. Back in 2018, every 2 years, when the Buckeyes play up in College Park, Maryland, OSUDC hosts a really large tailgate event with clubs all up and down the East Coast to get together to cheer on our Buckeyes. So while it won't happen this year, we look forward to welcoming you back to College Park, and mark your calendars. It is Saturday, November 19th, 2022. We've also, just as an update to membership, had a couple bar closures. So on here, I have Solly's and Fido. So Solly's is not fully closed. There's an asterisk there because they have shifted to patio only. So they were unsure if they were going to be able to host inside due to DC health regulations. So right now they're operating as patio only. Unfortunately, Fido in Chinatown, which I know many of you have been to, has closed permanently due to a rent dispute prior to COVID. So if we can go to the next slide, OSUDC is looking for ways to stay engaged with all of you throughout the fall. I know that we won't have football each and every week, but we are still looking for potential virtual fundraisers for our Spearman Scholarship Fund. Again, as Dave and Stephanie mentioned, thank you again to everyone who helped us raise $16,500 for the scholarship fund last season. I can attest from working the game days, seeing all of the Venmo requests come into the club that are anywhere from $1 to $20 to $50 is really, really helpful to us to help send kids from the DMV to Ohio State. We're still looking into a potential online presence when it comes to old games being streamed online, or a way that we can still stay connected with you through the fall. And for the sake of transparency, because I know we did have questions about it, the partner bars that we were going to partner up with this season were World of Beer in Bethesda. This was a late addition to last season when we were trying to get back into Maryland. They've been an excellent partner with us, and we look forward to returning there in 2021, along with Crystal City Sports Pub in Crystal City, Virginia, and also Blackfin. So for some of you recent members, you might have noticed that we added Blackfin Ashburn a couple years ago. We were planning to turn that into a satellite location where there would be no in-person staff each and every week. But we look forward to partnering with Blackfin at both the Ashburn and Merrifield locations in the future. With Solly's being temporarily patio only and the closure of Fido, we were in discussions to ensure we still have a DC location, and we'll continue those discussions moving into 2021, should we have a spring season or next fall 2021. So finally, there is a Q&A function, and we will open that up towards the end after our guest speaker. But if you have ideas for virtual game day themed fundraisers, social media presence, whatever it might be, please take a second. And my email is on the screen. It's vp@osudc.org. You can also send us a direct message on Twitter or Instagram. Both handles are @OSUDC. Okay, so I am so excited to introduce our guest for the annual meeting. We have Molly Ranz Calhoun, who is the new can you guys hear me? Great. Just to give a quick background on Molly, she is serving her alma mater as the Senior Vice President of Alumni Relations and President and CEO of the Ohio State University Alumni Association. After starting her career at Ohio State as a student employee more than 30 years ago, Molly has served in a wide variety of leadership roles in the Office of Student Life, including her most recent positions of Senior Associate Vice President and Interim Senior Vice President. Some highlights from Molly's decorated career include leading the university's largest ever residential construction project, which was the North Residential District Transformation. So for those of you like myself who graduated before 2018 and then traveled back to Columbus and said, what are all these buildings? Molly was responsible for overseeing that, and it looks amazing. She also helps coordinate annual move-in logistics for almost 11,000 students and their families. Molly holds a bachelor's degree in industrial design from Ohio State, and her areas of expertise include facilities construction and operations, strategic planning, and community development. Molly, we're so happy to have you, and take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Melissa. I always look forward to these opportunities to meet with these passionate alumni groups like yours. And it's probably one of the favorite parts of my role right now. And I've been in a few of these, so it's been very exciting and very fun. And I know the announcement about the Buckeyes in football has our spirits down a bit, but we won't be there. We won't be down for long. I'm sure you know President Johnson was aligned with Gene and Coach Day in their efforts to delay the season, but now that we know that we're going to be postponed, we can officially be hopeful for what spring may bring us. So that's exciting. So it's been so wonderful to hear about all the outstanding scholarship recipients tonight. And I know that all you students will also go out and uphold the important Ohio State tradition of paying forward to serve your communities. We know that you'll take everything that you learn and you'll go out and you'll make the world a better place. And it's our responsibility really to support you in this. And you know, I had the opportunity to address the graduates this past Sunday, and I shared with them that commencement actually is one of my favorite days of the year, but that's a bookend with move-in. And I know you guys are getting excited about moving in next week, and I know it's going to be a little bit different, but it's still, there's so much anticipation and so much to look forward to that it'll be exciting for you. And you should also know that no matter what happens, what's in front of you, your alumni have certainly shown that they'll be here for you, whether you're on campus at Ohio State or you're back home in DC. I'd also really like to personally thank the members of the Alumni Club of Greater Washington, DC for helping these students realize their goals. I've been so impressed with clubs like this because you provide such generous support and guidance for these students throughout their time at Ohio State. And you're certainly setting a great example for all of our volunteer leaders. Working with our students has always been inspiring, as it's bringing them together with our alumni and our community. That's kind of what we're doing right now. And this is really what drew me into this position with the Alumni Association. I found that I loved creating experiences with the students. I did that in student life for 35 years. And then I also got to work with alumni along the way. And I realized the energy that I really got from having that opportunity to shape and share the university's story more broadly. And I gathered that energy from interacting with all Buckeyes. And so that role really the role with the Alumni Association felt like the next step. I felt like I had worked with all these students for 35 years and now they're our alumni. So it's been a great opportunity and lots of kind of things that then circle back around. I've had the opportunity to meet with alumni who I worked with as students, and that's been really fun. So just a couple other things. I want to give you a few updates. I obviously started in May, and every day since then has been really exciting. Our Alumni Association team is amazing in their innovative approaches and how they've continued to keep our alumni feel connected. Each week we have a virtual engagement digest that goes out to the alumni, which many of you may have seen, but it offers webinars and some with children programming, and we're able to provide access for career advice. So a lot of our alum have been, since COVID, have found themselves in some difficult situations as far as careers go, and we've had plenty of opportunities to help that, as well as some lifelong opportunities, lifelong learning opportunities, and even our book club. So it's also a way for us to elevate our leaders across campus. So coming up soon, we have a virtual event featuring some experts from the College of Arts and Sciences who will be discussing our 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment and the legacy of voting, especially for women of color. And for a little bit more context, our advancement events team has collaborated 19 different departments across campus, on campus, including not just advancement, but all across campus. And we've produced 116 virtual events since April. And we've been engaging over 18,000 people. So it's pretty remarkable how quickly our teams kind of got into the virtual world and all the opportunities that they're providing for our alumni. So it's really been remarkable. And just kind of learning what this new world is going to look like and what the virtual world will be. So what excites me most that engagement can allow our people from all over the world to participate, and it's really helping us engage our alumni, some alumni that we haven't seen for a very long time. So lots of opportunities. So I've been inspired by our Alumni Association, the whole team. They're showing tremendous insight and commitment as we work to continue adjusting to living with COVID and living up to our responsibilities to address systemic racism as well. It's critically important that we create opportunities for dialogue and action to strengthen our Buckeye community and to align with the university values, and connecting with our dedicated alumni clubs like yourself to help us be successful in all of these areas. So on behalf of Ohio State family, I just want to say thank you. I want to say congratulations to the amazing students and their award of their scholarships, and for everything that this club has done for them and for our alumni at Ohio State. So I think now we're going to turn it back. We're going to open it up with all the panelists, and if there are questions and answers, we can go into that. So thank you so much, and as usual, go Bucks.
Awesome. Thank you, Molly. The updates are fantastic. As everyone starts to pop up on the screen, I just want to let everybody know, so there is a Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. Click Q&A, and you can type your question in there, and then any of us can answer it, and I'll try and facilitate the questions. Molly, I had a question because I didn't read it on your bio, but you were instrumental in getting an esports arena at Ohio State.
Yeah. So last year, I think that's been a year. And interestingly enough, that is the one sport that we have been able to continue to play is esports. So last year we started an esports program through Student Life, and we opened an arena. So there's 80 stations in the arena. I don't know how many there are now given COVID. So there's probably maybe 25% of that right now. But the arena is in Lincoln Tower, and it's open to all students. And then last spring we got our first team. So we have an Ohio State University esports team. So yeah, it's been very exciting.
That is awesome. Thank you. Seeing esports, I have so many more questions, but we do have questions coming in. So Renee is asking us, what is the plan for the Glenn Washington Academic Intern Program for the school year? I'm not sure exactly about Glenn. Maybe Dave, you can talk about that, but I know having worked with the law school this year over the summer, there's a Washington, D.C. summer program that went fully remote by the middle of March. And so students ended up not moving to the district. They ended up staying in Columbus. And they just held remote internships. I would assume something similar. Dave, do you have any insight?
Yeah, in talking with, and so people who don't know, Katie Hogan is one of our board members and is also instrumental and runs this program. So I know there was information going on, and they were discussions going on about how they were going to handle it. It sounds like it's going to be a virtual type environment. There's going to be internships here as well as learning virtually. So it's kind of a very unique situation as with everything else, but I know they have something planned, and I still think they're looking for mentors and things like that. So alum who volunteered in the past or people who are interested in getting involved, reach out to us or Katie Hogan, and we'll be able to connect you guys if you want specific information, have specific questions, or are looking to get involved or get back to that program.
Great. So Harcho, this is kind of a membership question for you, but does receiving one of our scholarships automatically give you entry into the OSUDC club? And if not, what are the other ways that membership you can join?
That's a very good question. Unfortunately, that's not what's the right word? Criteria, I guess I'd say, for membership. Well, we love for our former scholarship winners to be members. Really, to join, you have to pay at least $25 to the club. But we have many events that are open to non-members and members alike. We've started doing things with member-only pricing. They're free for members. If you're not a member, you pay a minimal fee or whatever. So we encourage everybody to join the club. We have a very ambitious goal in our strategic plan to grow our membership, and membership dues allow us to hold free events or to hold events at very low cost, and to be able to give so willingly and generously to our scholarship fund as well as to the Washington internship program.
I have a question for you, Molly. I'm not able to get the Q&A portion to work here, but does OSUAA have any programs where they can engage current students or incoming students or outgoing students?
So it's interesting that you said that, because it's on, given my background in student life for 35 years, that was one of the first things that I came in and said, there's got to be more ways that we can engage with our students sooner. And so we're talking about that. There's some things that we do. There's some mentorship programs. There's a STEP program that we're looking at to see if there's a way that we can incorporate, and that's the second year transformational experience program. So we're looking to see if there's ways to engage alumni in that program. So there are some places there, some mentorship, excuse me, there's a couple programs that I know, but we're trying to figure out ways that we can engage the students earlier. Like this year, for the first time, was the first time that we were involved, that the Alumni Association was involved in the summer, in the send-off. So we sent a video to every student, the incoming freshman, and said, hey, we're the Alumni Association, and we're here to help and support you even now. So we're trying to make sure that the first time they see us is not when they walk across the stage. So we're open for any ideas that you might have, but that's one of our goals this year, to look at what are the things that we can do.
That is great. So we have another question. This is probably a Jen or a Harto question, but do you have an estimate of the number of Buckeye alums currently in the DMV area?
I can take that just from the most recent number that I was told, and I believe we discussed this last year at our Alumni Leadership Symposium, was in the DC metro region footprint, which is a pretty large area. We have approximately 12,000 Ohio State alumni. And that's not even counting all of the alumni friends and everyone who grew up in Ohio and roots for the Buckeyes and comes and joins us for our events, even if they didn't go to the university.
And also, too, you don't have to be from DC to engage with us. We do partnerships with the Baltimore Club. We've done events with Richmond Club. We always reach out to the other clubs around Virginia. So if you are not from the DMV, or if you are going to be somewhere else, make sure to look up the local alumni club in your area if you want to connect with them, if you're looking for a place to watch a game or something like that. Because I kind of tell everyone we're a special family, and we have a broad reach to where it's not just our little city, it's not just our state of Ohio, it's not only the country, but it's the world. You can find a Buckeye wherever you go.
100%. So we have another question coming in from another one of our board members. I see you, Kenny. He is wondering, with the current season being postponed for football, would it be possible / legal to have virtual conversations or events with current players to help raise money for the scholarship fund? Molly, I would direct that to you as head of the Alumni Association, but I can talk about former Buckeye conversations as well.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I'm happy to look into that and get back to you. I'm not sure, because I'm assuming if they're still thinking that they can play in the spring, then they're going to be actively practicing, and they'd be, so that's a really good question. I'm happy to look into that and get back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, from this past year, we did have a really successful event with the DC Defenders, with Cardale Jones, Duran Grant, and Tracy Sprinkle, which was really heavily attended, one of our most attended events of the year. And for some of you who remember last fall, before the XFL started, we were reached out to by the Defenders to have Cardale Jones come to our game watches. So if you were at Fado, Solly's, or Crystal City Sports Pub last November for that lovely Friday night Northwestern game, you got a chance to meet Cardale in person, which was fantastic. And he's even repping our OSUDC shirts, which is great. I will also say that, as Dave mentioned, we are in talks with the Washington football team because they did draft Chase Young and Terry McLaurin. They also recently signed Marcus Baugh. And so we're in conversations with them to see, and Dwayne Haskins, of course. And so we're in conversations with them to see if we can do a virtual event, especially, and Dave, I'd like to ask you about an upcoming series that the club is partnering with the Black Alumni Society and the Kerwin Institute about. Some people might have seen Dwayne Haskins was at the DC protests surrounding racial justice, and as a club, we believe diversity is one of our founding principles. And so I'd like to ask Dave to do a small preview of what the club has in store over the next year.
Yeah, we've partnered with the Kerwin Institute and the Black Alumni Society, and we're kicking it off by doing a year-long series of events. And the first event is slated to be the middle or towards the end of September, and there'll be a number of panelists. We currently have a journalist from Central Ohio who will be moderating it. We've reached out to a number of high-profile Buckeyes to see if they would participate. We're still waiting to hear back, so keeping our fingers crossed. But there'll be a number of us talking about experiences, shared experiences, and what we can do. Additionally, that will dovetail into a second live series about what we can do as individuals, followed by a third virtual event. We'll be able presenting some details about laws, things are being passed, things along that nature. We're also looking to hold an on-campus event where we can talk with administrators, professors, and other alum to get together. And we're hoping to wrap it up with the day of action held at the Capitol building, where we can lobby our elected officials from the DMV, figure out what we can do to affect change and make sure bills that are important not only to us, but to the university and to our alum and current students are addressed and passed.
Great. And we'll also be holding some voter registration drives as well, just to increase voter turnout with the upcoming election. So stay tuned for that, both for our friends who are back in Ohio and then also in the DMV area. New question. Speaking of OSUDC shirts, will there be new merchandise so we can represent OSUDC this year? Don't know who wants to take that.
Yeah, as the club, we will be doing stuff like that. We still have a number of shirts. So if you're interested in, repping the DC Buckeyes, please let us know. And, we have reached out for a number of people asking about Buckeye masks. So those are things that we are working with licensing and trademark to figure out what we can do and able to do without running afoul of licensing and regulation. But those things are in process. It just takes a while to get it done. So we're hoping we can get some answers to you and, have some Buckeye swag that you guys can use to represent the district while you're walking around out there.
Great. So Q&A is still open, you guys. Feel free to keep putting the questions in Q&A. Molly, is there anything you want to know about us? I know you said you've been visiting with other alumni clubs, but now's your chance to grill us in DC.
So one thing I did want to tell you, Dave, so Jen Key's on our team, I don't know if you know her, but they are working on a mask program right now to help the clubs and societies. So I think there are 3 manufacturers and it's gone through trademark and licensing and all that. So she's working on that right now. And I think it's going to be a program where it's kind of buy one, give one kind of thing. So you could donate one to a student or to one of the healthcare workers for a small donation. So there is a program that they're working on right now.
Oh, great.
So just an FYI on that one.
Perfect.
So I'm curious, I would like to know, what is your favorite memory of something that you guys did that just stands out? Of all the years that you've been doing this or involved with the DC group, what's your top 3 events that you feel like you've done? And why were they your favorites?
I can take a shot at that. I think one of the very first ones has to do with the first ever Maryland tailgate when Maryland joined the Big Ten. There was a lot of work and effort that went in, not only from us here at the local level, but clubs up and down the East Coast and OSUAA in Columbus. It was a very lively event. It was a great opportunity for us to get together, and Jen may remember off the top of her head, but I want to say there was close to 500 to 600 people that attended. It was a catered event. It's great, and it's been kind of our ongoing staple, where every time Maryland comes in, we host this event and we engage clubs not only from, the Mid-Atlantic, Central Ohio, to Chicago, to upstate New York, are all reaching out. We've gone down into Carolinas as well. So it's a great opportunity, and having guys come into our backyard multiple times a year, it has been great. It's been great for us.
Just
I
off
guess
the top of my head, I think it was about 750 the first year,
Wow.
and that was people who actually checked in at the registration table, and we know there were people who didn't get to the table, so it was a lot.
That's awesome. Any other ones?
I mean, the past year working with Cardell Jones and the DC Defenders was just amazing for me. I always tell the story when I moved to DC. The first thing I looked up was where can I watch Buckeye football, and got connected with Jen. And a year later, I was the game day chair. So being able to work with the DC Defenders and the XFL was really great. And then it was like kind of a full circle moment because 2014 was my first year at the university. And I went to the Big Ten championship game where he routed Wisconsin and was at the national championship. So it was just a really weird, like full circle, amazing Buckeye moment for me to be able to meet him and walk him and the coach of the Defenders and the president to the different locations, and for them to see our fan base, because I think I would go to bat and say that DC has one of the best game day atmospheres in the country for the Buckeyes. Our fans are very passionate and they're willing not only to, you know, cheer on our team, but also give back to these students through the scholarship raffles that we have. It's just absolutely phenomenal to be able to give back to the university through those ways.
That's awesome.
You know, to answer your question, Molly, we just received a comment from one of our longtime members and supporters, Barb. She really thinks it's a great opportunity when we, well, I got to say thank you, Barb, because she usually is the highest bidder when we raffle off our season football tickets. So with her generous support, I think we've put multiple kids through OSU. And, you know, her opportunity of using our seats to sit in the front row of the shoe is one of the things she thinks is great about this.
That's awesome. Pretty neat.
We have another one in here talking about the Scarlet and Gray Congressional Breakfast as well, because, you know, Renee, you're right. You can't beat the view. We always sing Carmen, Ohio. It's a really well-attended event. And if people haven't had the chance to do that, hopefully once we're able to be back in person, to get a chance to go to the Congressional Breakfast, because it's such a uniquely DC event.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hear a lot about that. Yeah, I hear a lot about that one that from my colleagues. I have not gotten to attend yet, but yeah, I hear a lot about how wonderful that event is.
We were really excited this year. For the first time, it was going to be a dinner event. So, and I think it was scheduled for sometime like early mid-April. So,
Yeah.
so obviously did not happen, but hopefully next year or whenever it is we're able to. But I also wanted to share, I've had the opportunity to be on this board since 2012, first as the vice president and game day chair and now as secretary. But my gateway to the board before I was officially a board member was because I started volunteering at college fairs. And that's something I've continued to do. I'm actually originally from the DC area. I grew up in Fairfax County. So I really love doing the college fairs. They were the same college fairs that I went to. So I think that's one of my favorite things, and seeing, of course, the scholarship recipients who are also from this area, really everyone from DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Things have changed very, very quickly. When I first went to Ohio State, I transferred, I started in spring of 2000, and I didn't know anyone from my high school that went to Ohio State, and that has changed very, very drastically, very quickly.
Yeah, that's neat.
So Jen, on the subject of college fairs, we have a question of, will we be having virtual recruiting events for high school students that are interested in Ohio State?
That is an excellent question. I do not know the answer. I'm going to guess the answer is yes. And I am going to follow up with our regional admissions representative, who he's based here in the DC area and works for admissions. He's the one that in the before times would travel to the high schools to meet directly with students. And he was the one that if you ever volunteered at a college fair, he was probably there along with you. So I'm sure there are a lot of plans in place for how that process is going to be working this year. And I'm sure that we'll be a part of that.
And I think we have one last question. And Molly, I'm going to probably put this towards you because it's about mental health and virtual physical health, specifically during this current situation. Is the association, are they planning or thinking about potentially having a plan to do some virtual events around mental health and physical health during this time?
Yeah, I think, well, we've been doing some physical health things. I think they've been doing some yoga and some virtual things around that. And I know that so when everybody went virtual, we all kind of got into our own little silo and started doing virtual things. Now I think we're taking a step back and seeing who we can team with. So Byrne, our chief health officer, our chief wellness officer, is doing lots of program things. The Office of Student Life is as well. So we're trying to figure out how to team on some of those. But I know for sure, given the anxiety of people who are both on campus and who aren't on campus, and what that looks like, as well as the parents and families of a lot of those students as well, and our alums. So, what does that look like? How can we help? So definitely we're going to be teaming with probably some of the experts on campus in terms of providing those opportunities. But I think that we are already doing some physical stuff. I don't know that we've done anything around the mental health, but the physical side of it we have.
Thank you.
Great. Well, I was going to say, unless I see some more questions coming in, I will just say, if you do have questions beyond the annual meeting, you can always email the club. You can email me. My email is vp@osudc.org. I'd be more than happy to answer your question or forward it to the board member who handles it. And make sure to also follow us on social media. All of our handles are @OSUDC on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, I know I mentioned our partner bars. So again, Crystal City Sports Pub in Virginia, Blackfin, Ashburn. Who else do we have? Solly's is gone. Ish. Solly's has patio only. Harto, I don't.
World of Beer.
And World of Beer in Bethesda. So if you are in the Bethesda, Crystal City, or DC areas and you are looking for takeout or delivery, please consider patronizing our game day partner bars, because we want them around in 2021 when we can all be in person again. And we would really appreciate it if you could give them some extra love and support right now. And with that, I think I will send it to Dave for closing remarks. Thank you so much for joining us, Molly.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Go ahead and there you go. I want to thank, first off, our sponsors. For those of you who don't know, all of our game day locations donate to our scholarships fund. So I want to thank Crystal City Sports Pub. I want to thank Solly's, World of Beer, Blackfin, and Fido for their support this year. We also get generous support from Great Lakes Brewing Company and Bud Light for prizes that we raffle off at our events. So thank you for that. Moving on to the closing remarks, I want to just say again, not only thank you to our sponsors, but thank you to Molly for taking time out of her evening to join us. I want to thank you for the people behind the scenes, running the Zoom, doing all the coordination, and the staff at OSUAA for all their support. Not only for this event, but ongoing events and all the stuff we do behind the scenes. Thank you for that. The incoming students for joining us, thank you. You are about to embark on a journey that will change your life for the positive. I've been out for a while and I still wish I could go back. When people say it's the best time of your life, it truly is. Also, thank you to our board members. If it wasn't for the work of the dedicated board members we have now, we wouldn't be able to do these sorts of events. And last but not least, I want to thank you to all of the members and the people that joined us tonight. If it wasn't for you guys being here and joining us, we wouldn't be able to deliver on our mission. So I want to thank everybody, and I want to close it with have a good night and OH.